Tonight, from California to Cape Cod, beachgoers escaping scorching summer temps are running into a wave of issues. Dozens of beaches in Massachusetts temporarily shut down. Officials posting water quality warnings at beaches in New York, New Jersey, Washington State, and here in Southern California, where the famed Santa Monica Pier comes flanked with signs sharing swim at your own risk.
Is it harmful? Is it not? I mean, when you hear bacteria, you automatically think it's harmful.
The heightened levels of bacteria discovered a sign water may be contaminated with germs or fecal matter, known to make people sick. For the Blakely family visiting from Houston, their vacation game plan is shifting. Kids have already been in the water before you saw the signs, so what's the plan now?
Yeah, we're just going to shower as soon as we can, get off the beach here shortly, and just find something else to do, you know?
Scientist Annalisa Moe keeps a close eye on water quality, stressing symptoms can arise even without prolonged exposure to bacteria. To see this many people in the water here, are you concerned?
At this particular site, yes, because of the high bacteria levels underneath the pier. Particularly for younger folks, that exposure can be kind of dangerous.
Beaches are most at risk after heavy rainfall, pushing waste and polluted waters through storm drains and into the ocean. So before you jump in, health officials say don't ignore those posted warnings.
I love California, but, you know, a better warning would be awesome.
Morgan joins us now. Morgan, some people, they just don't watch the news. They don't know about this. And this could be all summer long, right?
Tom, potentially, and that's why scientists on both coasts are continuing testing that coastal water quality each and every day. You mentioned folks may not watch the news, but even if they come to the beach, these are the signs that they're supposed to kind of keep a close eye out for. We've spoken to multiple beachgoers here, Tom, who among the crowds here simply walked right past these signs, unaware that the water here within 100 yards of the famed Santa Monica Pier is really being warned against getting into. And the proximity is such an interesting thing here, Tom, because scientists say if you walk just 100 yards farther down the beach, that bacteria level noticeably lower, safer to get into that water. Tom?
Yeah, we see a little kid just behind you there playing in the water. All right, Morgan, we thank you for bringing us that.
The Trump administration is facing criticism amidst a massive diarrhea outbreak in the United States of America. Public health experts and Democrat lawmakers say cuts to disease surveillance under President Donald Trump and Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. may have hampered the efforts in tracking the outbreak of diarrhea. The U.S. health authorities are now investigating one of the country's biggest outbreaks of cyclopsoriasis, a parasitic infection caused by Cyclospora parasite. An estimated 7,000 cases have been reported across 32 states, with more than 140 people being hospitalized. Michigan has emerged as the worst affected state, accounting for nearly 3,700 confirmed infections. The parasite is typically spread through contaminated fresh produce or drinking water. Now, health officials are investigating possible links to lettuce, onions, coriander, and other green leafy vegetables, but they say that the exact source is yet to be confirmed. The symptoms further include severe or prolonged diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, fatigue, weight loss, and fever. The doctors say that symptoms can take anywhere from 2 to 14 days to appear, making it extremely hard to identify the contaminated food source and to contain the outbreak. As a precaution, selected Taco Bell outlets temporarily have removed ingredients such as lettuce, onions, coriander, and guacamole from their menus while investigation continues. However, the authorities say that no direct link has been established between the outbreak and the restaurant chain. The public health experts and Democrat lawmakers have further said that the funding cuts and job losses at federal health agencies have reduced the country's ability to monitor foodborne diseases. They point to last year's decision to scale back on FoodNet, a key surveillance program that had stopped actively tracking several foodborne pathogens, including Cyclospora, because of the funding constraints.
We have news on that parasite tonight, the one sickening people across 34 states. The Washington Post is reporting CDC investigators believe the likely source is Taylor Farms, a California fresh food supplier that provides lettuce to Taco Bell, as well as packaged lettuce to major retailers, among them Walmart, Target, and Whole Foods. Here's CBS News senior national correspondent Mark Strassman.
Health investigators may have finally solved the mystery of why so many people have fallen so ill eating contaminated lettuce. The Washington Post reports that federal officials have now potentially linked the outbreak of a parasite called Cyclospora to Taylor Farms, a California produce distributor. The company supplies salad products to numerous grocery stores and fast food restaurants, including Taco Bell. Thousands of cases have been reported in 34 states, the majority in Michigan, the vast majority over the last few weeks. The disease causes severe gastrointestinal illness. While no one has died, more than 100 people have been hospitalized. Taco Bell had already, as a precaution, removed salad ingredients from some of its restaurants. One Michigan health official told CBS News that normally it would see 40 cases of cyclopsoriasis, but in this outbreak, they have handled more than 4,000 cases.
Remember, for now, this is a potential link with Taylor Farms in California. We reached out to them. So far, no response. But this is the first real sign of tracking down what has worried and sickened so many consumers. Tony?
Iran today releasing video saying it's launching more missiles targeting U.S. bases and facilities in the Middle East. Kuwait and Jordan saying they intercepted hostile drones and missiles. The United States carrying out more strikes too. A U.S. aircraft fired at an oil tanker that attempted to violate the U.S. blockade on Iranian ports. U.S. Central Command saying the tanker ignored multiple warnings as it moved toward Karg Island, the Iranian oil terminal in the Persian Gulf. The White House today saying this:
the president is not going to allow them to fire on ships in the Strait without paying a consequence for that.
With the ceasefire over and the war nearing 5 months, sources say President Trump held a meeting in the Situation Room this week to discuss his options in Iran, including possible targets, after renewing his threat to bomb Iranian bridges and power plants as soon as next week.
I don't like giving deadlines, but they pretty much know. They know the story. Sorry, they better behave.
But in what the president is calling a gesture of goodwill, Iran on Wednesday freeing a wrongfully detained American citizen held since 2024. The woman's lawyer identifying her as Dina Karari, a U.S. Iranian citizen who the lawyer said, quote, has been trapped in Iran on bogus charges of collaboration with a hostile state and espionage.
And of course, many here at home are tracking the economic impacts of all of this. The price of oil is climbing back up, and some experts are warning that the price for a gallon of gas could hit $4 once again. Olivia Rubin, ABC News.
Time now for the Gravitas image of the day. For this, we are taking you to China. The country has launched the world's first humanoid robot fighting league. Take a look at that. Human-like robots battling it out in kickboxing matches inside that octagon. Thrilling packed crowds watching on. The tournament has brought together over 200 teams, including from China, the US, and Singapore. Let's also take a quick look at what is expected to unfold over the next 24 hours. The three major events from around the world expected tomorrow. India eyes a historic milestone on Saturday as Skyroot Aerospace prepares to launch the country's first privately developed orbital rocket. Football fans turned their attention to the FIFA World Cup with the bronze medal match between France and England taking center stage. China has said it will raise domestic retail prices of petrol and diesel by over $44 from Saturday as the US-Iran war continues to impact oil prices around the world.
Hello. 彭水乌江三桥附近发生山体垮塌，有民房受损，人员被埋。记者将持续关注救援进展。
好嘞，好。好几个孩子呢，房子破了我看。就是，好怕。 你也在前面呢。好多那房子都狂啊，车毁人亡的多得很，房子有的房子起火，怕了。爬3楼，爬3条楼。
啊？就是你现在他那个弄到了头，带了头弄那个东北大生命气体的给。
All right, so let's get you some breaking updates that have just come in, where there's been an earthquake that measures 6.3 on the Richter scale that's been reported near the town of Te Anhui in New Zealand's South Island, prompting the authorities to issue a tsunami warning. Now, the epicenter of the earthquake is reportedly about 24.85 miles north of Te Anau, which is the gateway to the tourist hotspot of Fiordland. But according to New Zealand's Emergency Management Agency, the United States Geological Survey, and also the German Research Center for Geosciences, they've both pegged the earthquake to be about 5.9 on the Richter scale, with a depth of about 50 kilometers. Now, the National Emergency Management Agency has said that people in the affected area should make their way to the nearest high ground out of the tsunami evacuation zones or as far inland as possible. So this is the latest bit of update that has in fact come in about reports of an earthquake that measured 6.3 on the Richter scale. It's happened on New Zealand's South Island near a place called Te Anau, and that is where the epicenter is reported to be. And the epicenter is said to be about 50 kilometers under the ground, and the authorities have now issued a tsunami alert. The epicenter of the earthquake is below a place called Te Anau, which you can see pointed out on the map. And this is said to be the gateway to the tourist hotspot of Fiordland, according to the New Zealand National Emergency Agency.
Earthquake, 7.4 Earth magnitude, has struck off the coast of Mexico's southern state of Chiapas, triggering a tsunami warning across the region. The earthquake hits on early hours of the morning near the coastline, with tremors felt in neighboring Guatemala and El Salvador. Mexican authorities said there have been no reports of serious damage so far. Officials have warned that some coastal areas could experience sea levels rises of up to half a metre as the result of the tsunami effect. Residents have been advised to stay away from beaches as authorities continue to monitor the situation. In Guatemala City, buildings shook following the earthquake, forcing some residents to evacuate their homes and move into streets. Government buildings in Guatemala also activated safety procedures as the quake was felt across the country. The tremor was also reportedly felt in El Salvador, while authorities in Mexico's Oaxaca state said the earthquake was experienced with moderate intensity. Emergency teams are continuing assessments as officials remain on alert for any aftershocks or coastal impacts.
A powerful El Nino event brewing in the Pacific Ocean could become the strongest ever recorded. Experts warn the phenomenon, combined with rising global temperatures, it could push the planet towards another record-breaking heat year. El Nino is marked by warmer than normal sea surface temperatures in the central and eastern tropical Pacific. It can trigger extreme weather patterns, from severe storms in some regions to hotter and drier conditions in others. Occurring irregularly every 2 to 10 years, each El Nino event is different in intensity and impact. The phenomenon can significantly alter weather patterns across the United States and around the world. Australia's Bureau of Meteorology says that current El Nino is intensifying, with climate models predicting an unusually strong peak in the coming months. The Bureau of Meteorology has also forecast unusually high temperatures across major Australian cities, including Sydney, Melbourne and Perth. According to scientists, previous strong El Nino events reached around plus 2.6 degrees Celsius, and current forecasts suggest that this event could climb between plus 2.2 and above 3 degrees Celsius, potentially making it the strongest on record. Climate experts say that the scale of warming in the Pacific reflects the enormous amount of heat stored in the world's ocean due to climate change. Experts are closely monitoring another climate pattern, which is the positive Indian Ocean dipole, which, when combined with El Nino in the past, has contributed to severe drought conditions, including the devastating Black Summer bushfires of 2019 to 2020.
This is Dabu 7. We have an earthquake that has just struck off the coast of Mexico. A fairly large 7.4 quake, pretty shallow as well at only 6 miles of depth. This is off the coast of Chiapas, Mexico. They have issued a tsunami threat. It could be a watch, advisory, warning, or a threat, and right now it's under threat. They could change to a warning here at any time. Most of the sites that I follow putting out the warnings, like the one you see on the left, saying get to higher ground because of the tsunami threat. And this is one that we're watching. No reports yet of like buildings toppled or down or anything like that. Although anything can happen from here, I will watch it and I'll update with information as I get it. But we've also got some mysterious quakes out there in other places. We have Yellowstone, which is one that you don't want to see active, showing some signs right in the park and south of it as well. Decent sized quake at a 3.3 and fairly shallow. There's been rumblings from scientists saying that they believe that there is what they call magma mush up in an upper layer at Yellowstone, that if it does erupt, potentially that little magma pocket would let loose, vent, and then that would be the end of it. And we have the mysterious quake off of Florida's coast. This is being credited to the U.S. military. When you look into the details of this, this was a large 3.9 quake that should have been felt if it was a quake, but it was at exact surface level. When you look at it down here and you look at the depth, it's at 0. Word is, U.S. military conducted some type of test, a blast out here. What it was, we don't know exactly, but some kind of bomb, obviously, due east of Palm Coast, directly east. So, you know, what it was, it caused some big shock wave, anything else, tsunami waves itself, we don't have any clue because they keep these things rather secret until they happen. Like this, I will say that right underneath of this on the ocean floor is some of the most unique and wild looking things I've ever seen. On Google Earth, you'll see it looks like lines and pipes and all types of crazy stuff that are ran on the ocean floor in this area. So that's what I got on that thus far. And make sure to follow me on X for updates to all this, and join me for the live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, here on Dabu 77.